Hi, it's Sachi. So in my previous video, I made this turtleneck shirt. I made this in this sheer fabric. I thought it would be cute to pair it with my knit camisole, and it's cute. And I like this combination in theory, but I feel that it's a little bit too revealing and a little bit too dressed up for my everyday life. So I decided to make a simpler vest to layer with my sheer turtleneck. This is going to be the center front, and this is the top, and this is the bottom. On yourself, measure from shoulder to shoulder like this, or in this case I want to make it a little bit of off the shoulder style, so I'm gonna make it more like this. I'm gonna divide this by 2 because I'm making the pattern for the half of the body. So from this point I'm going to measure 10 inches for the shoulder. And from this point, measure down 2 inches. And for the neckline, I usually use 3 inches here, but I want to make a little bit wider neckline for the vest, so I'm going to do 4 inches here. Connect this point and this point for the shoulder. Measure from the neck point to where you want your vest to hit. You can make short vest or long vest. When you're deciding on your lengths, aim for longer lengths because a sewn garment always looks shorter than you imagine with the measurement. And you can always cut if it's too long, but not the other way around. I would even add 2 inches to the length you think you need at this point. Measure from this point. And imagine how deep you want your neckline to be. And then measure this point from the neckline. Like this. So I'm going to use 7 or 8 inches here. And connect this shoulder point to this deepest point of the neckline. This straight line is fine, but I like to give a little bit of shaping to the neckline. So I'm going to measure about 1/4 inch in the middle of this line and draw a slightly curved line here. And you can definitely hand draw it, or you can use the curved rulers like this. So you probably want your armhole of the vest to be bigger than that of anything you wear underneath. I'll do like 8, 9, 10 inches. I'm going to do 10 inches. It looks bigger on this mannequin, but this mannequin is a little bit smaller than me, so I'm going to measure down from this point 10 inches. And then square up 1 inch. I did just 1 inch here because this is 11 inches, so the finished garment will be 44 inches, and I think that's big enough. But if you want to make it even bigger, you can add 2 or 3 inches here to make it bigger around the bust. To draw this armhole, measure about 1/2 inch here. This is about 4 inches from this point, and then draw a curved line from this point, going through this point, then end up at this point. So this line didn't come out very pretty, but if you use mechanical pencil instead of Sharpie like I did, I'm sure you'll be better. And then square down from this point to the bottom of the vest. This is the front bodice. For the back bodice, I'm going to change a little bit on the neckline and the shoulder. So for the neckline, measure down 1.5 inch from this point and square out 1 inch or so and then connect to the shoulder with the curved line. And for the shoulder, from this point, measure down 1.5 inch. And make sure this line is the same length as this line. So this is 6.25, so I'm going to extend this line so that it matches the front. Then just extend the armhole. So this is the back. And I'm just going to be lazy and I use one pattern for both back and the front. So I'm going to cut out the outermost line, which is the back bodice line. I added 1/4 inch seam allowance this time, but you can add any seam allowance you're comfortable with, like 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to fold the pattern so that I can cut out the front bodice. And for the neckline, make sure you measure in the seam allowance from this curved line for the neckline. For the neckband, I cut out the fabric about 2.5 inch wide or 6.5 centimeter wide. The stretch is this way. I'm going to fold this fabric in half, put this along the neckline, stretching it a little bit. To the back neckline too. And I'm going to double the length for the both sides. So this is going to be the neckband. Like this. For reference, it came out to be 20 inches. The original neckline is about 30 inches, so the neckband came out to be about 2/3 of the neckline length. For the hem of the vest, I cut out the band 5 inches wide or 12.5 centimeters wide, 19.5 inches or 49 centimeters. It's 3 inches shorter than the hem. I'm going to fold it like this and attach it to the hem by stretching it just a little bit like this. And you need 2 of these for the front and the back. And the same thing for the armhole band. Cut a couple inches shorter so that when you stretch the band, it fits the armhole nicely. I had to have this seam in the middle because I didn't have enough fabric, but cut continuously for the front armhole and the back armhole if you can. This is about 2.5 inches. And 6 centimeters. The first thing you want to do is to stay stitch for the front V. You do the simple machine stitch just at the finishing line around the corner to strengthen the fabric. I'm also going to sew the front part of the neckband. You're going to fold it in half like this, and these are raw edges. I'm going to put this underneath the front piece. I'm going to copy this V to the band. Then I'm going to sew on this line. Okay, so the angle of this front is good, I think, but But I feel like this came out to be a little bit too small for the neckline I want. I'm gonna try to make the band a little bit bigger by sewing a little bit inside of the seam I just did and see if I could make it a little bit longer. I think this is better. Normally I would just cut out another neckband, but I don't have any more fabric left, so I had to work with what I have here. I think I can make it work. I think the reason it came out to be too small is that I stretched the fabric too much when I was cutting out the neckband. A deep V-neck like this is kind of difficult to get it right, and the way I'm going to show you right now is not a traditional way to do it, but I find it's the easiest way to do it. So I cut into the V really close to the stay stitching but not through the stay stitching. Then fold the seam allowance like this. Put it on top of the band. Place this point right at the seam of the band. The one way to baste it is to whip stitch from the front. And you can open this up and you can stitch through this stitching with your sewing machine. So I think the neckband is still too short, so I'm going to cut this here and add this little piece that's left to the back neckline. The neckband is going to have seams at the shoulders, but I think it's better than neckband being too short, so I'm going to do that. You know, put them here.
What? But there's no plates.
Plates are in the kitchen.